Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Geek Games podcast. I am Sam Suvak alongside Cody Tetrick. That's where you say hello.
I was just pausing to mess with you. Hello, how's it going?
Don't do the pause and mess with me. I mean, I think we have like PTSD from the pause problems we've had in the past.
Oh, yeah, good point. Maybe that's
Not
a bad joke.
tease. So,
How's it going, Sam?
well, let me tell you, Cody, it's been a rough week. It's been pretty sucky, but I was thinking about it as I was driving home, getting ready to do this, and I'm like, you know what? Like every time we sit down to record, it doesn't matter like what's been going on. It doesn't matter if I'm in a really pissy mood. It doesn't matter if I'm sad, if I'm angry, whatever. As soon as we start recording, whether it's the podcast or videos or whatever, I just start having a good time and I get so happy. And I'm really glad that we have this. No, I'm serious. I love you, Cody. And I'm so happy
Thank you.
that we get to do this together because, it makes a big impact on my life. And it makes me a much happier person than I think I would be if I didn't have this going on. So thank you, Cody. I love you.
Thank you, Sam. I love you too. And yeah, it's like we talked about like after the show went off the air last week, I think just talked for like 30 minutes straight. And I was
Yeah.
like, it feels so nice to like just talk and like get some of this frustration we have out
Yeah.
into something else because yeah, it's always a good time when we record. And so
Yeah. So we got a little sappy there. That's
yeah.
that's to be expected. Cody and I have that tendency. So what are you gonna do? But we hope that you guys enjoy it and get as much out of this as we enjoy putting into it. And one thing that we really like is listener questions. And we
Yeah.
put a specific call out for some listener questions. And I was excited to find that we got a few in. So, just a reminder, if you ever want to reach out to us, we're on Twitter and Facebook at Geek Games, or you can email us at contact@geekheartgames, like one Chris M. did recently. Now, Chris wrote to us and he said, I am a huge fan of things like Steam and PlayStation sales, but sometimes I get the feeling that it could be a problem to me in the long run. Sure, these titles are on sale and I could get a lot of games, but I sometimes am afraid I can seriously overindulge and spend way more than I am supposed to. Even my friend and I joke that if Steam was a thing when we were in school, we would have gone broke. My wallet is suffering a death by 1,000 cuts. How do you all feel about sales happening so frequently, and how do you halt yourself from going on an excessive shopping spree? Cody, I don't know about you, but when I read that, I was like, oh my God, I think I seriously need to reevaluate my life.
Oh yeah.
I think I've been
'Cause you're
making some poor
definitely
decisions.
a couple episodes back, I think it was you bought 3 different games that were on sale and you hated all of them. So, what
I
a
didn't hate
perfectly
them.
timed question.
It was the disappointment. Um, yeah, I'm a sucker for a sale. I don't know. I see something, and if it's a really good deal, I'm like, well, I mean, but it's a good deal, and I want it. I'm gonna want it at some point, and like, what if it's never this cheap again? I might as well get it, right? Um, so I've fallen victim to that many a time. I may have recently learned from some of my experiences. The one you're talking about, I don't think that's the problem, because
Debatable.
they were like all under $10. They were cheap games, and I had some fun with them while I played them. They were just, kind
Mhm.
of limited, just going to be a couple hours, and that's my time with it. My big mistake was when I bought Final Fantasy 15, like the complete
Yeah.
edition, for $35, because I was like, that's a really good deal for it, and I was really excited to play it. And then, I mean, I think I put almost 10 hours into the game, but I mean, that's not close to being anywhere near even halfway done with that game. And I didn't care for it. So that was when I was like, okay, I think we need to have some limits here. Um, so I think for me, some of my new rules for evaluating a sale purchase, it has to be something that I think I'm gonna play like real soon. I don't want to just say like, oh, I think one day I'm gonna play that and then get it and then it just sits there and I'll forget about it and never play it.
Yeah.
So it has to be something soon. It has to be, I mean, I've been real strict. Like anything that's like $20, I'm like, yeah, it needs to be less than that. Um, I do have a thing where like if a game is less than $5, I mean, why not? I mean, if it's less than like an
Those add
expensive
up.
cup of coffee, why not? Which maybe I still need some help. Maybe I still need some intervention.
Yeah, a little bit.
Um,
I mean,
I mean, if there's something that you spend money on regularly and you can say, I'm not going to do this one thing and just buy this $5 game, it may not be the greatest game, but you might have a little bit of fun with it. We paid like, what? It was like $2 for Zombie Vikings, and we had a lot of fun with that game. So
okay, yeah,
you can
that's
find
reasonable
some
for a price.
gems. I mean, if it's less than the cost of a movie ticket and you're going to play this game for the time that it would take to watch a movie, I say it's still a good investment. But I do also put like a cap on my spending for a sale duration. So like maybe it's like, okay, I can buy some stuff. I can't go over $20. But like if there's like, you know, six $3 games, that fits right. So
Oh
I
my
don't
god.
know. Cody, what are your rules for this?
So I don't go on shopping sprees during sales usually.
You have a little more self-control?
A little bit. So I kind of echo some of your rules where like I only buy games. I used to buy some games and then I've never touched them.
Mhm.
Like the Darksiders games. I played like
I did that
maybe
one.
3 hours of the first one. Never played the second one. I'm probably never gonna finish those games at this point. But like I think you have to kind of like be real honest with yourself. Like, hey, am I really gonna try to play this game?
Mhm.
Because like I got both those games for like $20, and granted, I could go play them and probably get like 50 hours worth that into them, but I've only put 3 hours, and so that's kind of $20 wasted.
Mhm.
On the flip, I bought Star Wars Battlefront 2 when it was $25 in the store. Granted, I didn't pay for that because Marvel Heroes had just closed down and they gave me back money, but it still counted. So I paid $25 for that, and I got like a ton of hours of enjoyment out of that. So it's just kind of like, and I feel like that was a really good deal because I think it was like a month after that game launched, they sold it for $25 on the
Yeah,
PlayStation
because that was
Store.
in the fall that it came out right
Yeah.
before all those sales happened. So yeah.
So yeah, it was $25 after like a month. So that's kind of a reasonable thing. Um, Definitely if it's a newer game, it's got to be at least half price, or it's just like, what's
Yeah.
even the point? Like Monster Hunter World is on sale right now for $45, and even I would be like, it's just like just wait for it to go on sale for cheaper. Like give it another couple months. Um, I think small purchases are fine if it's like a very quick game. Like
Yeah.
what was it? Resogun was like under $5,
Yeah, it was
and
like
you got
$3 or something.
and like, but I feel like that's a game where you could hop in, hop out, and like
Yes.
just you get a lot
Yeah.
of time out of it though. So that's
Hmm.
worth it for $5.
Yeah.
Um, the what was it? The Resident Evil shooter game that you hopped in and couldn't even find a game. That was kind of a waste of money, Sam. N- not judging. But yeah, also I also agree with the maybe setting a cap for
Yeah.
yourself, like hey, here's a bunch of like indie titles that are on sale for under $2. Maybe put $10 as that cap,
Yeah.
because if not, you're gonna end up dropping like $30, thinking, well, like 70 games though. When are you gonna play those 70 games?
Oh my god, I have so many, Cody, I have so many PC games, I think, because like
Exactly.
I bought like humble bundles and stuff, and then like there's just stuff I'm never gonna play. And I've stopped buying PC stuff. I'm like, no, because I just don't play on my PC. So I've kind of
I
learned a lesson there.
Yeah. I've never understood the Steam sale hype because people are like, "Oh, it's all these cool games, they're on sale." But it's just like, but how often are you playing all those games? Like, I think everybody has a rotation of games they play, and every now and then it's okay to throw a spice of life in. Like, okay, I've been playing Overwatch for like 7 weeks now. Maybe I need to play a single player game. Oh, hey, look, Dishonored's on sale. Let me go play Dishonored.
I
Like
feel
that's
like
just kind.
a lot of people do like to have like new things to try though. They don't like to play the same thing over and
Reasonable.
over. So like I always like to try new things. So I like to, get stuff in the mix. Um
That's what she said.
that is what she said. Um
Um,
wow, okay, so what were we talking about?
spending and not
Spending.
going overboard.
Okay. To answer the other part of his question, I will always love sales. Sales will always be a good thing. It's up to you to manage your self control and, be responsible for it. But sales are fantastic. I mean, I still say it was a real good deal when I went ahead and bought Titanfall 2 for $6 digitally, just so that I would never again have to get up and put the disc in. Because I'm so lazy. I'm like
I
$6
can.
worth of lazy.
If Overwatch was $6,
Oh
I'd
my
probably
god, I would. I'm
just
like
so I never
so
have to
want
spend now.
Overwatch again. It's like it's
And
never less
that's
than $30 on Overwatch,
yeah.
but if I could get 15, I'd consider it for Overwatch too. Um, but I mean, I'm probably a bad person. It's fine. I mean, I accept it. One thing just to enable you guys a little bit more, there's this website called camelcamelcamel.com. That's three camels. And it's a price tracking site. And so what you do is you go find what you want, copy the Amazon link, put it in there. You say, here's the price that I want to pay for it. And if it ever gets to that price, they'll send you an email and say, hey, it's at that price if you want to get it right now. She can get some good stuff that way. Although a lot of times Amazon will like lower the price for like minutes, it seems like, because like I'll get an email, like I had one just recently, and like I got the email 19 minutes ago, and I go and it's not that price anymore. So sometimes you just have to be quick on it, but it can be helpful when you know what you want to spend for something and you're just willing to wait for it. So, but yeah, all right,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Another like just real fast. Another small rule I have is if it's like a critically acclaimed game, like something like you've typed up to me, or like I listened to a podcast and they're like, oh, you guys should really try out like Night in the Woods, and like that is ever on sale for like under $5. Yeah, I'll generally buy a game like that. But for the
Yeah.
most part, I don't know. I don't buy a lot of indie games, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's just not something I've ever really enjoyed playing. Most of the time, I like big like AAA titles usually. Like I don't know, maybe that makes me a bad person. I should be supporting indies.
Hey man, it's
I mean,
cool for
granted,
what you want.
the Switch is kind of my indie machine. Like
Yeah.
I've played a lot of indies on my Switch. So, but PlayStation, like no, and like Steam, I barely use Steam. I use it for Slay the Spire and Friday
Well,
13th.
your
So
computer is not conducive to
yeah,
any
it's
type of needy Steam game. So,
true.
um,
Yeah.
cool. Cody, would you like to read our next question? Do you have it up?
Yes. Yes, I do.
This
Real
is
fast. Thank you, Sam, for the
oh,
question.
definitely.
We
We
appreciate it.
I got real excited when I saw it. So, yeah.
I got really scared because I just look over and my phone says "death by 1,000 cuts," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh no, cults are emailing us."
Yeah.
But
Hey, I think
all
it's
right,
a pretty lively email
it
subject
was a
line.
cool
So,
topic. So,
yeah, it was a good one.
all right, so this comes from your friend Barbie.
Yeah,
She
Barbie's
hit us up
great.
on Twitter. She asks, if you could create your own task force to fight an enemy in a foreign world, who would you choose? Could it be real person? Could it be a real person, living or dead, or a fictional character, lead singer of a band, whomever? Now, I'm assuming in a foreign world we're talking about like aliens, correct?
That's what I was assuming. I was
That's what I
assuming
assumed as
like a
well.
distant
Okay,
foreign
so
world. I mean, we're not going to like France and gonna fight people, hopefully. So,
they eat snails, Sam.
hey man,
I'm just kidding. We
to
probably
each
have
their
French
own.
listeners. We like you.
We do. We've had some downloads from France. It's exciting.
Oh, okay.
So,
So,
yeah,
hey.
yeah, awesome. So bonjour to all of you. I don't know much French.
That was more Italian. I don't know why I did the Italian hand sign. um, so do you have a team in mind, or
Okay, let me take you through my process here.
oh,
Because as soon as I saw this, my mind immediately went to Dwayne The Rock Johnson because, I mean, he's a big guy. He's pretty badass, he seems. He's also a very nice guy.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be, you know, in a dangerous situation, but the more I thought about that, I'm like, well, but also he's an actor. Who knows if he has actual combat training? And if I'm wanting,
He was a wrestler,
he
so I mean,
was,
he can
but
lay the smackdown on somebody at least.
yeah, yeah. Um, but I was like, if I want a big, strong guy to take with me, might as well just take Kratos, right? I mean, he's a god.
Terrible.
He's a god.
He's
I
also on
mean,
my team.
well, he's A plus quality for
Yeah.
a strike force, whatever. Um, so yeah, I would definitely take Kratos, and then like I don't ever really want to be in combat because I'm a puny little human and I'm scared of things. So I was thinking I should bring BT from Titanfall 2. He's the
Reasonable.
AI mech suit. He's got a real great personality. He brings machine guns to the fight, and I would feel pretty secure being inside him when, you know, disaster strikes. So I think he's an A plus choice as well. Then we need somebody for some stealth, you know, be able to sneak around, take care of some
Yeah.
stuff, maybe do some ranged work. So Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, I think is going to be a great choice for that. And then to round out the team, I feel we need a healer because, you know, shit's going to happen. We're going to get hurt. We need someone to take care of us. So I went ahead and picked Moira from Overwatch because she's got her healing, but then she's also pretty deadly in a fight. So I feel like that's a pretty good, well-rounded team.
Yeah, you're gonna fuck some aliens up.
Oh yeah. All right, what about yours? Shares
So I also have
Kratos.
Kratos.
Yeah.
I picked Master Chief because he has experience fighting aliens. So
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know this is horrible. Can you just clarify for me who exactly Master Chief is? Because I've heard of him before, but I don't know, and I'm sorry.
Master Chief is the main protagonist of Halo series.
Okay.
For most of them, Halo Reach not, Halo 3 ODST not. And he's pretty much a human being who has been trained to be the ultimate soldier, and then he has called a Spartan suit on, and so like he is pretty much impervious to most damage. Like it'll take a lot to get through the suit.
Nice.
And he's like proficient in a whole bunch of weapons. So
is this first name Master, last name Chief?
Technically, his first name is John. His last name is Spartan, but they call him the Master Chief.
It's his call sign. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
Then I was like, well, we also need a healer, but we also need like someone to do some covering if we are getting shot at. So I was like, might as well bring Mercy and Reinhardt from Overwatch because Reinhardt will shield us if we need to heal up, and Mercy's little stick thing does the healing. So
it's a staff, but whatever.
Stick thing.
I mean, if you're gonna give me shit for calling throwing knives throwing sticks, then I'm gonna give you shit for this. So.
And I think to round it off, we just want someone who can never die. So I picked Jon Snow from Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's
like that dude just fucking won't die. So
yeah,
I want someone who's out there like coming back to life every 3 seconds.
I like it. And you took me by surprise there, going out of the video game realm. I don't know why we're both so stuck in that. So yeah. While you were talking, I had a moment of panic because I was like, I just all of a sudden realized that I would also really like to have Ikora Rey from Destiny on my team.
Oh shit! She's just Nova Bomb people and they're done.
So I mean, I might just have a 5-person strike team. I mean, it didn't say how many people we could have, so we could have as many as we want, right?
Yeah, it's our team.
Yeah. Well, as I was thinking about it, I'm like, all right, don't just pick all Overwatch characters because I'm like, I mean, you could just make the perfect team from Overwatch characters, but I felt like I should expand it some. So
yeah.
But hey,
pretty good teams. I feel.
Yeah.
Those aliens will know it's coming.
Yeah. Although maybe we could just like make peace with them and be friends. I don't know. We could try that first.
No. Kratos won't have that shit.
That's true. All right,
boy.
man. Can't wait to get to Kratos. We're going to talk about him later. But again, thank you, Barbie, for that lovely question. We
Yes,
enjoyed
thank you
it.
so much.
Yeah, and so if you have questions, be sure to reach out to us and let us know. Um, all right, let's get a little bit back on track. Talk about some games that we've been playing. This last weekend, there was a beta for a game called Sky Noon. And Cody, have you heard of this game?
I saw some gameplay of it. It seems really interesting, so I'm excited to hear how you liked it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I think for now it's like only going to be on PC. Hopefully, maybe
Yeah.
eventually it'll make it to other consoles. But basically, it's this like old west style, and the graphics are kind of like Fortnite or Overwatch, kind of cartoony characters, and the ground is just these like islands up in the sky, and there's like various islands. They're connected by bridges and stuff, and it's a multiplayer shooter, and your goal is to knock people off and they fall down into oblivion, and that's how you score your points. um, so you've got various types of guns, but there's no like health meter, and your guns are pretty much just air guns instead of regular bullets, and so you shoot someone with a big burst of air to try to push them back and knock them off the island. And then you've got your weapon gun, and then you have a grapple gun. So like if you're falling off, you can grapple the ground and swing yourself back up, and pretty much just you use your grapple gun for navigating through the world regardless as you're chasing people down and doing stuff. So pretty much you're just flying around like crazy like most of the time, and it's a lot of fun. I'm horrible at it, as you could probably guess. But I played some of the beta, and I mean I was having a good time. I was getting knocked off pretty frequently, but you spawn back in pretty quickly. One thing that I did learn the hard way is when the game first starts and you spawn in from like midair flying in, and so you've got to like
Oh,
control
that's cool.
yourself and like make sure you grab on and land correctly, or else you just die right away because you don't
That's
even make your
awesome.
first landing. Um, and then you've got like special abilities you can pick up, like you can get this like air dynamite charge that you throw and then it explodes. There are mines that
Oh,
push people
okay.
off. But the really good ones are there's like jet boots, so or like hover boots.
Hmm.
So when you get knocked off, you can, if you don't go too
Yeah.
far fast, you can like hover and try to get yourself close enough back to grapple on. And then there's another one that's a teleporter. And so if you do this one just right, as you're getting knocked off, you throw your teleporter and then teleport into it real quickly to get yourself back to land. Um, so there's a lot of different things going on with it, and there's the three modes that were on the beta. At least there was like a team deathmatch, and then a free for all, and then there was a objective based mode where you've got a cart. So there's like railroad tracks, and there's this cart, and you are trying to push the cart into the enemy's spawn point, and they're trying to get it into yours, and you're using your air blasts and your grapple gun to like direct the movement of this cart, and you also have a lasso. I was not good at that lasso, so I hardly ever used it. But like you could lasso the cart and pull it towards you. I theoretically, like if you were like going off the edge, you could throw your lasso and grab somebody, and it would pull them towards you.
Oh.
But it's pretty true physics. So like anytime you're exerting force, it also gets exerted against you. So like if you're close to someone and you shoot them with a powerful air gun, you're both gonna get pushed
Oh,
back.
okay. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that can be good, that can be bad. You just gotta kind of pay attention to what you're doing. You can also, I'm pretty sure you can grapple onto other people. So if you were falling off and you could grab somebody and like shoot yourself back in. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. Like the first time I played it, I was like, yeah, this is okay, but you know what? It's a PC game, and I just don't like to play much on my PC, so I
Yeah.
probably won't be doing it. But then it was like Sunday night, and I was like, let me just play a few more rounds before the beta ends. And then I had so much fun. I'm like, you know what? I can see myself playing this some more, just like getting on my PC and playing, why not? And it was really handy because even though it's in the beta, it's already got full controller support, and I know playing
Oh,
on a
okay.
PC, it puts you at a disadvantage if you're using a controller. But I mean, I'm at a disadvantage regardless because I'm so bad at using the keyboard and mouse. So it was really handy, and like it's got a lovely tutorial. You know, I like a tutorial. So, it's like here are the buttons to push to move and do this. So I was doing it with the controller and just figuring stuff out. And the tutorial was smart enough to know that I was using the controller, and then halfway through it just changed and started telling me the controller buttons to use instead of the keyboard buttons, which
Oh,
I thought
okay.
was
That's pretty
very well
cool.
done. So, I mean, overall, I had a blast, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm not sure when it comes out, but if you've got a PC and you get the chance to play it, you should definitely hop in. I tried to make a video to show people what it was like, but apparently my little computer is good enough to play the game. It's not good enough to play the game and record the game at the same time, turns out. So it recorded the audio, but like the screen would just freeze on one image and wouldn't show any
Oh,
of the visuals. So I was like, huh, that's unfortunate. So, yeah.
sounds like a very interesting game. I kind of hope it does come to console because like it sounds like it could just be a like a Splatoon like game where like
Yeah.
it's wacky but also kind of competitive. So yeah, that'd be kind of. I saw some gameplay of it. It seems really cool. Um, it's definitely a new concept. Like I don't know any game that's really like messed with the whole air battle like grapple hooking around stuff.
Yeah, I feel like Lawbreakers started down this path
Yeah,
with their like
a little
zero
bit.
G areas, but this is like the whole thing is just flying around and using your grapple
Yeah,
gun, and it just makes it chaotic and fantastic. So hopefully it'll come to consoles as well. I hope it does
hopefully.
well. So, all right, Cody, there was not a beta but a demo that was available that we tried out this week. Do you want to start us off with that one?
Yes. Let me tell you the wonderful story of this demo. So I downloaded this demo and I'm like, all right, like I've seen them play a demo on stage like 4 times now, right? This got to be something new, right?
Oh.
No, it's fucking not. And I'm sorry, I said I would cuss as much, but why? So like, I start the demo.
Hold
I
on,
pick the.
hold on. Are you going to say what the game is?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you said the name. It is Detroit. Is it Becoming Human or Become Human?
Just Detroit Become Human.
Okay, Detroit Become Human has a demo out.
It's a free demo.
It's a free demo. You can download it. So after I get through and like I start the game, I pick my difficulty, um, and it starts with this little robot cyborg dude flipping a coin around. I'm like, this seems really familiar. And so I walk in, and they're like, "Oh, negotiator on site." And then I'm like, I get to finally walk in the game. I'm like, cool. I get to like move around. Oh, but yes, Sam.
Sorry, pause for just 1 second. You know how sometimes you just have that paranoid feeling like, oh, I left the oven on? I just want to switch over real quick and make sure that this is recording. Okay, it's recording, but you just
Okay.
sometimes you just have a panic and you're like, is it
Yeah, it's
recording? It
reasonable.
is, it is. So, okay, please keep going. I'm
Um,
so sorry.
so then I look to my left and I see the fish tank,
Yeah.
and this is when everything starts clicking in my head,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I have seen this demo 4 times. I am not playing this because I've watched it 4 different times. There is no reason for you to post a demo that has been shown 9,000 times. It's just, I wasn't even interested in this game. Like, this game has no interest in me, but I thought I'd try it to be nice.
You tried it because I asked you to try it. That's
Yes,
to be fair.
I just, like, you could have given me something new, like a new character, because I think there's like 3 main characters in this game, is what I've read.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, maybe it'll be one of the other 2 characters. Nope, it's just a demo I've seen 4 times at this point, and I was really bothered by that. So going on what I know from the demo I've watched 4 times, and played a quarter of, uh, it seems like a very interesting game. Like the choices you can do and the research you do to help improve your chances of your choices sounds interesting. It's just not a game for me. I'm not Doesn't interest me. the idea of like a reality where like cyborgs are just integrated with us, but then there's still people who hate the cyborgs,
Hmm.
is something that's like I've read books about that, so it's like it's not a new concept to me.
Yeah.
If it was something like, I don't know, like what if the cyborgs were like ogres and like we're just trying to get like the ogres into society, you know? Like I think there's a movie on Netflix about that. I think Will Smith's in it. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Bright? Yeah, that's
Yes,
what Bright.
that's what it is.
Um, I don't know what to say. Just you can't give you a new demo, like a new character.
Okay,
All
to be
right,
fair,
you go.
there are a lot of people who had never seen that demo played before, and so this was a totally
Reasonable.
new experience for them. I was one of those people. I had never seen this before, so it was all new to me. Um,
Okay.
so I don't know if you know this about me, but like sometimes I get real bored pretty easily, especially like when I have to investigate things.
Yeah.
So this game is gonna be a lot of investigating, it seems like. And you have to go find stuff. And this one wasn't so bad because you push your little button to kind of like have a ping out and see where areas of
Yeah.
interest are. So it kind of tells you where to go and do stuff. And it took me, I mean, okay, I played this 2 times. It took me the second time before I actually figured out how reconstructing the crime scene worked, because like I did it and I thought I understood it, and like I could play the little timeline and you see this wireframe of what happened. But there were these, like, I wasn't at the right angle. If you're at the right angle,
Hmm.
you can see another item with a triangle, and when it gets to a certain time in the timeline, you can do that and see a little something extra. You learn a little something
Yeah.
extra from it. It took me a while to figure that part out, but once I did, that was pretty helpful. Because the second time I played through, I got a gun. I was like, "Ooh, this is neat."
Oh, okay.
Um, so I played it through, and I went outside to talk to the guy to try to clear up this hostage situation. And when I got to that part, I was really enjoying it because it was like really tense. I was like making decisions and feeling that it was like impactful. And I I think the first time, I don't remember. I don't remember what happened the first time. I feel like I saved the girl, but I don't remember how, because I feel like I had the gun, but I didn't have the gun till the second time. I don't know. I, I'm pretty sure one time I shot him with the gun in the head and killed him, and then another time I ran into him and we both went off the building, but I still saved the girl. Um, but yeah, all right. So anyway, so I played it and I was real intense during these conversation topics, and I was having a good time, and that made me want to go ahead and play through again, because at the end it shows you the flow chart of all the choices and
Hmm.
options and all these like question marks for the things that you haven't discovered yet. And I was like, there's so much here. I want to try some more and find some more stuff out. So I was real excited. And then as soon as I started again and had to investigate again, I got real bored again. I was like, I don't want to keep investigating. I know
Yeah.
this is what this game is going to be like. I'm going to like get really excited for a minute and then have to go do the dirty work and not want to. Um so I don't think this is going to be a game for me. I think if it's at Redbox, I might get it for, the day and try it out and just see. But I think for me to be real happy with it, what I'm going to have to do is just play through and make my decisions and live with the consequences. And all these little question mark things on the flow chart, I can't care what they are, because there's no way I'm going to want to keep going back and doing this over and over to see all the options, even though inside I really want to see all the options. I just don't want to do the work. So, um, but yeah, we'll see what it's like. Regardless, I feel like it's fantastic anytime a game puts out a free demo, because
Yeah.
it just helps people out. It's like, hey, try this, see if it's for you, see if it's not. I mean, some people are going to see that and be like, oh, I had no idea this is what this game was like. I'm really into this now and I think I want to get it. So I think it's a good thing.
Oh, okay. Don't mistake my anger for not thinking this is a good thing. I think
No,
this is
no,
a
no.
great thing.
Yeah.
I wish more games would do this. Like, I've definitely bought some games and been like, oh, I just wasted $60 on this crap. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think I wish more games would do this. this is just not a game for me. It's not something I'm interested in. Like I like detective work sometimes, like in Batman when you mix it up with some combat,
Mm-hmm.
but this seems like it's a lot more detective stuff than
Mm-hmm.
combat.
Yeah.
Um, I think that the scenario in the demo they have said has like 6 different endings you can get, and the only two I've ever seen is you end up shooting the cyborg or you end up fighting him off the edge.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter what, that's the two I've seen. But I think there is one where you can accidentally lose the little girl, and like that's pretty fun, crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
this just doesn't. I have no interest in this game. If you do, please let us know how you like it. Let us
Yeah.
know if there's anything you enjoy about it. But yeah, that's and it's like very interesting name, like Detroit Become Human. Like, is this all set in Detroit? Why did they choose Detroit?
I
Is
think
Detroit a
so.
series?
No, I think it's all set in Detroit.
Okay,
And I think the
interesting.
whole premise is the androids or cyborgs, whatever you want to call them, are, you know, trying to assimilate
Yeah,
into human culture and get like android rights and stuff like that. Like they want to be considered human because they're starting to consider themselves that way. So it's an interesting concept. I like it. I like the world that it's set in so far. I don't think I have the patience for the detective work. So,
yeah.
but yeah. Okay. So enough about a game that we're pretty lukewarm on. Do we want to talk about a game that we're like over the moon about?
Yes, yes, we
Okay.
do. Because I'm so like,
I know you've been
oh, I
waiting
love this
so long to
game.
talk about this. So, last week God of War came out, and I think it's safe to say we both love this so much. So, Cody, why don't you start us off?
Like, let's get out there first. No spoilers here.
No, yeah.
We're just gonna give our general impressions. We are planning a spoiler cast, so if you are looking for something like that, just give it some time.
Yeah.
Um,
And
as of this,
I'm just gonna
go
say,
sorry.
like, I'm not done with the game. Like, I don't
Yes.
think I'm real close to being done with the game. So, yeah, no worries. We're not gonna spoil
Yeah.
anything.
Just general impressions. I have beat the game. I am 3 trophies away from the platinum, so it's safe to say I've done almost everything in this game. At this point, I've done some secret stuff, and it's going into this game. I knew I was going to love it
Mhm.
because the story of Kratos is one of my favorite video game series of all time. God of War is just something I'll always love. Um, this is not my game of the year. This is my favorite game of all time.
Oh.
There is nothing like this game made me feel every emotion on the spectrum. There was anger, there was love, there was annoyance at a certain character, there was just every emotion. There were moments where I jumped out of my chair in excitement because I was like, "Holy shit, that was awesome!" There's moments where my jaw was on the floor. I was so shocked at what I just learned. Uh, I In a very funny story, I beat God of War 3 at 5 in the morning in college, like 4 years ago, and then I beat this new God of War at 5 in the morning. So I was like, this is fucking eerie.
That's awesome.
Um, I kind of mainlined the story, and then I've gone back and done a bunch of the side stuff. But I think you could play either way.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, this game is so amazing, and like the combat feels so good. Like it took me a little bit because I'm used to the old hack and slash. Don't really
Mhm.
need to block ever. Just kill shit and get moving. And I slowly realized, like, no, they want you to use that shield they give you.
Oh yeah.
Sam, what are your general impressions of the game?
I love it so much. So I had seen really just the first trailer, I think, and then I didn't want to see or know anything else about it.
Same.
Like I'd played a little bit of God of War 3, like I talked about before, and I didn't care for it. But based on what I saw there, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love the new one. And I had I had certain expectations, because like right now I'm in a state where if there's a game with a male lead, like it has to be real good to get me, because otherwise I'm just like, meh, I've played games with male leads. I'm not that emotionally invested in it, so it's got to be something special. And like even from the little bit I saw, I was like, this is going to be something special. I can tell that this is going to be a very emotional game. They're going to be telling a great story, and the combat is going to be fantastic. So I mean, those were pretty high expectations, and they were all met when I started playing this game. It is so satisfying, the combat
Oh yeah.
in this game. Like because I was like, this is gonna be like the Hellblade combat. You know, like a heavy attack, a light attack. You got your shield, you got your dodge. I'm like, this is combat I can get behind. I think it's gonna be great. And I mean, it is. It starts off and you're doing your stuff. It's fine. You start getting your skill tree leveled up, and you start getting new abilities, and they just build so perfectly into it. And I'm like, oh my god! Like I can't even describe like how great it is when you get your parry just right, and you like
Oh
knock
yeah.
somebody back, and you get their defense broken. There's like, so like it's not a spoiler to say like something you can do with your shield, or is that too much to say?
No, you can like the shield doesn't
So
seem
you
like a
you eventually
spoiler.
get an ability where you can also parry projectiles,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that is I mean, I don't know, I've got a lot of favorites, but that is like one of my favorite things in combat, is to get it just right and to shoot it
Oh yeah.
back at them. I'm like, yeah, you suck on that, man. Cuz it's not like super easy. A lot of the time I'm just getting hit with projectiles cuz I'm like,
Oh
no, I don't
yeah.
want to dodge cuz I want to get my parry. I don't care if I get hit 3 times. I want to get this parry in. But it just feels so good when you get it. Um, there are um you can you like can just get that hand-to-hand combat in there. You can use enemies against each other. Enemies get used against you. It's so great. And the thing about, okay, there's so many things, I just don't even know how to process this in a linear fashion. um when you're fighting, you've got Atreus with you. He's got his bow and arrow, and I mean, it takes a little while to get used to, but his bow shots will interrupt the enemies, like when they're
Yeah.
in the middle of something. So, and a lot of times, like you can't always deal damage to certain enemies until they're interrupted. So you just like have to learn how to approach each one, the right like techniques. So you got Atreus shoot his bow, and then you go in there and you start smacking on him, and it just feels so good to like know what you're doing, you know, and like have a plan. And I love so much that my weapon is both my melee weapon and my ranged weapon.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really useful.
the fact that this axe, you throw it and can call it back, is just fantastic. It is so much fun.
Can we talk about how like good it feels when you call it, when you press triangle and it comes back to you and you like feel it almost hit your hand? You're like, oh fuck
Yes,
yeah, we're
it's
about to
like
do some damage.
the controller vibration is
So
just
good.
right. Like you can feel it hit
Yeah.
you. And the real good thing about this is it does not matter where you left that axe. Because
Oh yeah.
sometimes I forget about it and I'm going off somewhere and I'm like, wait, where's my axe? And I call it and it takes
Yeah.
like 5 seconds and you can hear it like banging things in the distance as it like makes its
That's my
way
favorite
to
part
you.
is when you
Yes.
call it back and like you know you left it like 20 miles back and you just hear and I was like, okay, yeah, cool, thanks,
Yes.
man.
It's like it's got its own little personality. It's like it's Kratos' best friend. His little magic axe.
So you've never played like The Last of Us. So like going into you played a little bit.
Yes.
So going into this game, when I was like hearing stuff about how like okay, I was really worried this would be like an escort Atreus mission kind of thing, and like
Mhm.
because that's what kind of The Last of Us was. Like
Mhm.
you were generally like, doing everything for Ellie until it got to a point where Ellie was in control at some points.
Mhm.
And so I was like, well, this is gonna suck. But then like you start going, and Atreus is just like he's there with you, like, and like there's a point where you can upgrade his abilities because he also like they went full RPG. You get skill trees out the ass in this
Oh my
game.
god, they're so good.
Um, and so Atreus starts getting abilities, and he's another weapon almost for you to
Yes, he
use.
is.
And so like you combine that with the axe and your shield stuff you can do, and like along with his arrows, and like he gets to certain abilities at some point, and it's just it flows so well. And once he gets getting different arrows, that's all we're saying. Different arrows. We're not gonna say what types. When he gets different arrows, they start really helping a lot. Like you start like getting to do some cool combos with them. Um, this game is just so good.
Okay.
Like,
Also, wait, first let me go back. So, like, this has been compared a lot to The Last of Us because,
mm-hmm.
of the style, but I think a lot of my problem with The Last of Us is I didn't like Joel. I didn't like him at all. So I didn't care about the
You just have
story.
no
I
soul.
really liked Ellie. Maybe he would grow on me. I've gone back to it like 3 times. I keep trying and I
He
keep
really
just
he really grows on you. He really
well,
grows.
and also I don't like the combat in Last of Us, but that's not the point. But like Kratos is a
Needs more
character,
axes to throw.
more access, yeah. Kratos is someone that I wouldn't like. I don't like that kind of character, that gruff, stoic, like boy, do this. But
I love
like,
that he calls him boy. But then
yes,
like when he gets panicked, he's like he goes into full dad mode. He's like
yes,
Atreus,
yeah.
Atreus.
Um,
It's
but I mean, pretty quick, he's grown on me, and I
that's
love
good.
him. You see, you know, the depth of his character, and he is a fantastic character, and I like him a lot. I also generally have a problem where I don't like children um, in games and movies and things. They're usually kind of annoying, and so I was like, meh. But Atreus is fantastic. I love Atreus so much. He he's oh my god, he's not an asshole, but he has like just a tiny spark of snarkiness that comes out sometimes.
Yeah,
And that makes me really happy because like I like snarky. Like I love Damian Wayne because he's a little asshole and he's so much fun. So
that's what I kind of get the vibe
yes,
of. Is it's kind of like Kratos is Batman, and like
yes.
Atreus is definitely Damien, where Damien's like making little snide comments under his breath, and Batman's like, "What'd you say?"
Well, they just have such great back and forth. Like at one point, Kratos is picking up this big thing and he's carrying it, and Atreus is like, "Are you gonna carry that with us forever now?" And Kratos is just like, "Maybe I will." And I was just like, "Oh my god, these two, they work so well together." There's these parts where Atreus wants to hear some stories to like help pass the time. And so
Oh yeah,
Kratos is trying to tell these stories, but he like, you know, he kind of is channeling Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Excuse me. With his like real literal stuff and like his stories are not
yeah.
fun and entertaining at all. And like it's just so funny. I mean, this game has humor, it has everything. Um oh, also like the skill tree, I love the skill tree because like as you like kind of level up, different layers of the skill tree unlock for you to buy different stuff. And it really is up to you how you want to grow Kratos. Like
Yeah.
there's these skills where like okay, if you get a precision axe throw and then you can do this and it causes this. And I'm like, well, there's a skill I don't need to invest in because precision throws are not something I'm good at. So I'm like, yeah, I don't need to mess with that. But just getting other types of attacks and stuff, I can grow those. But then this game, it just seems to flow so well that like I never really feel like I'm lacking. Like I always seem to have enough money and XP to get leveled up to a good spot.
Yeah.
Like it was never like,
It,
God, I need to work harder so that I can go get these. It was always like, yeah, this is good for now. This is working really well. Um, like all of the equipment, it's like you can new stuff gets unlocked, but I'm like, well, but I like the way this one plays right now, so like I don't feel like I have to invest in this other stuff. Like you can just it's really it's really easy and not stressful. And it just never feels like there it doesn't I don't, like I said, I'm not through it yet, but like I haven't found that there's any type of grind. Um, like I'm just following along and things just naturally fall into place for me when I need them. It's not it's not like I'm going out of my way to
Yeah,
try to
it
get things
flows
just
really
to,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Like I feel like there's definitely a ramp up of like experience and money you get for
Hmm.
doing certain things at some point that you never really have to worry unless you're just trying to like upgrade every single thing forever. Um, but yeah, there's a side quest that's very grindy,
Okay.
but it's kind of fun in a weird way. So yeah, this can we talk for a minute about how like it's just like it's quote unquote one long shot. Like
Yes.
I've gotten like maybe two loading little circles at the bottom, and I think it's just because my PlayStation was overheating
Oh
because
yeah.
I've been playing
I
for like
haven't
8
gotten
hours
any of
straight.
those.
Yeah, and like they're obviously using like when you're doing like a kind of fast travel thing that
Yeah.
we won't spoil. That's definitely there to like have time to load in the world. But like just the fact that everything is one long shot, you just
Hmm.
seamlessly go into these cutscenes and like they're just so freaking amazing. Like it's and like I don't know if like any other games have utilized this. Like I would like to do it more in games.
Yeah, it's amazing. Because like when I heard a lot of talk about this before I got it, and I didn't really understand what it meant. I was like, okay, one shot, so it's just gonna flow and be very cinematic. I didn't realize that means no load screens, and that's just like a mind blowing thing for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is amazing. And I mean, I don't know if any other game has done this, but it's fantastic, and it's just like such a great use of narrative because like a lot of times when you could tell when it would be needing time to load, it's doing something and it's like the characters are talking and maybe telling one of their stories or doing something like that. So it's very entertaining and it like just keeps you engaged the whole time. One thing about that, for people who don't have the best hands, me, for example, there's no pauses, so you're just playing the game
Oh
consistently
yeah.
for like hours. Like if I was in a
Oh yeah.
multiplayer, I'd die, I'd respawn, I'd sit down for a second, be like, okay. In between matches, I'd put it down, be like, okay. But this thing, I'm just playing nonstop. So I found like I can only play for like 2 or 3 hours at a time before I gotta like give my hands a rest because it's like just constant gaming, which is fantastic. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I just wish I had a young woman's hands, not these these old things that just can't take it anymore. Um, what else was I gonna say?
Um so we are planning a spoiler cast once you finish the game and
Yeah.
we can once you do a couple of the side stuff so we can talk about that. Um one thing for anyone who's going to listen to the spoiler cast, make sure you go home at the end of the, go home and get some rest at the end of the game.
Oh.
That's all I'll say. Just make sure
Okay.
you go home and get rest.
Um, I'm still not done talking about it. Just FYI, I didn't know if that
Okay,
was,
yeah,
but
no,
I'm
oh
still
no,
gonna.
trust me, I
Okay.
have a
All
lot
right.
to talk
Let's talk about how gorgeous this game is. Um, just the graphics and the characters, they look great. And you start off you're playing, it's like, yeah, this looks amazing. And then you kind of cross into this other area and I'm like, holy shit, this is like beautiful because you were just in kind of the regular woods before. It's kind of wintry and it's like, it looked good on screen, but then you get to a place where it's like they've invented a world and like the flora and fauna there are different and it
about.
looks incredible. And then there's a probably like my favorite kind of travel graphics, I guess you might say, ever in a game are the ones in this game. And it just because the way they use the graphics to convey like magical
Yeah,
happenings is it's fantastic and it's so gorgeous, and it really makes you believe that you're in a different world where this magical stuff is occurring. And I think they've done an amazing job with that. You go to different realms where there's different types of terrains, and they're all just fantastic. They did a really good
Oh
job
yeah.
with it. I love it so much.
Okay, like I was definitely one of those people who was complaining for so long that we didn't have a release date for this game, and how, man, you guys are like revealed this like 3 years ago and it's still not out. I am so glad that they took the time to make this game as good as it is. I hope they take as long as they need for the next one.
Mhm.
Um, just there's so many moments in this game that like I was telling, I felt so many different emotions. Like there was moments where I was jumping out of my seat. There was a moment where I just cried for a good couple minutes. So I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, okay, you got me there." Um, the jaw dropping moments, the frustrating moments. There is some boss fights in this game, and ooh, let me tell you, they get real annoying
That
if
makes me
you're
worried if
not.
they were that bad for you. I don't even want to
It's a
know.
it's a side quest one. And as I'm going for the platinum, the side quest one was very annoying. Um,
I'll say though, those boss fights so far, like I really like them. When you're fighting something
oh
that's
yeah,
really big and you have to just, it's one of those things where you have to understand what kind of attacks they're doing and how you're going to counter those attacks and do your timing and stuff. I loved it. It made me feel like a
oh yeah.
badass. It was just, I did some stuff in this game that I wish I had done or felt like I was doing in other games that have come out recently. And I was like, man, this is great. Um,
I will say, if you have no interest in God of War and you can only do one thing in this game, borrow from a friend and play the first hour
yeah,
so that you can get to that first boss fight because it is possibly the best opening boss fight in any game. It is like a superhero fight cranked up to 9,000. It is incredible. And that's all I will say about it.
hmm
But you need to experience it and how epic it is because it is so much fun. The first time it was going on, I was like, okay, all right. Oh, oh, damn.
yeah,
Oh, it's still going. Oh my God, this is so cool.
yeah,
Like, I played the Thursday night. It released at like 11 for me.
yeah.
So I played the first 2 hours and like I was just like, I gotta keep playing. But I was like, I probably should go to sleep. It's like 1 in the morning. I need to get
Yeah.
going. So definitely, if you can just, that's all you can do. If it's all you're interested in, just do that, and it'll
Well,
be
and
worth it.
let me just say, to be perfectly clear, if you have not liked God of War games in the past, if you have no interest in it, disregard all of that because I don't think
Okay,
that
this
matters at
is
all. This is a completely different game. I think it's really awesome that you like the old God of War and then you love this one so much as well. But for someone like me who didn't like it at all, didn't care for it, I love this game too. Maybe as close as you can get as a game for everyone. I don't know.
yeah.
Oh, and it's got the
This is
story.
definitely. There you go. You go.
I was just gonna say it's got the story focused mode too, which really drops
Oh
down the
yes,
combat. I haven't tried that one, but I
yes.
hear it's like better.
That's really cool. Is when
Yeah.
you start the game, there are four options for
hmm
you to choose from. It's like, oh, you do just want to experience the story, not having a lot of combat, like hard combat. There's give me a mix of both, and then there's focus on the combat, which is like you're there to like fuck people up, and then there's give me God of War, which is I guess what you would equivalent to like the super hard
Yeah.
mode of the old games, is like Titan, Hell, and all that. Um,
I love it when they give so many options like that to
yeah,
just make it as
it's really
accessible
cool.
for as many people. And you can confirm this. There's not a trophy for playing on the hardest difficulty, right? There's not.
No, I was
That's
kind of
a
concerned about that.
yeah.
Yes, I'm glad they did
That's
not do
so
that. If,
nice.
if they did that, I would not be getting going for this platinum. And like this
Yeah.
is gonna be like my first platinum, and like I feel like it has earned itself to be like my first platinum.
Yeah, it's such a good game.
Um, real fast,
Yes.
going back to what you were just saying. Yeah, this is if the old God of War games were like are like you in high school when you're going through some phases and like you're experimenting and you're angry all the time. This is definitely you have gone to college and graduated and you are an entirely new person. Like the difference between this game and the old school God of War game is night and day.
Yeah.
Like
hmm
There's not a lot of blood in this one. Like, there are times, but like you and the old games would be drenched in blood.
I was gonna say, like, I was a little disappointed by the
I
lack
mean,
of blood. I mean, you have some gruesome kind of takedowns, but
oh yeah,
depending on what type of enemy you're fighting, they kind of explode in different
yeah,
colors and textures and stuff, and it's not just like bloody blood. So I was like, huh, I mean, it's satisfying, but I was like, this isn't as bloody as I thought it would be. So,
yeah. Definitely in the older games, certain female characters would be half naked, and that's not the case in this one. Everyone's fully clothed. Everyone's cool. I haven't seen a lot of nudity, so I don't.
I haven't seen any yet. I just want to say there's a female character who is amazing in this game. I love her so much, and she's so fantastic. What I've seen of her so far, which, like I said, I haven't even seen that much, but she's great. Actually,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
all of the characters,
Oh yeah.
the side characters, are so good. They have such fun personalities. You've got your shopkeeps, and they are like it
They are
surprised
awesome.
me because they're dropping F-bombs too. And I was like, whoa, that's surprising for this game. But they're just like these cranky guys and they're a lot of fun. Um, there's somebody else that you run into who I really like this person as well. Tells some good stories. And
Oh yes, that person. Okay, yeah. I was
yes,
like, oh
I like
yeah.
that one a lot.
And one of the best parts about this game is that every character, like everything that happens in this game, has a purpose. Like there's a
Mhm.
purpose for everything that you do in this game. You may not realize it till the end of the game, or like, but everything has a purpose. Apparently, there's some stuff that has even more of a purpose, and I want to go back and replay this game
Okay.
so I know what they mean. But yeah, every side character is really awesome. Like, I love every one of them.
Let me tell you something that I've been doing. You've got options for your HUD on this. And after the first probably 4 or 5 hours, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm turning everything off the HUD and I can just
Oh,
briefly touch the touchpad to have it pop up and just show me real quick if I need to.
okay.
But since then, I've been playing the whole thing with
Ooh, that sounds
nothing on
awesome.
my HUD. And like, I wouldn't think that I would like this because I'm like, oh, but I need to see my health. Oh, but I need to see the enemy health. Oh, I need to see that compass. I really do need to see that compass, but we'll get back to that. Um, but it's been okay. It was a little rough at first, but like, you just get so engrossed in what's going on and there's like zero distractions because there's nothing else on the screen and you're not like, oh, I'm almost done with this enemy, I can, like, whatever. It's like, no, you're just hitting away and you're biding your time. I mean, if you were in if I know it's a game, but if you were in real life, you wouldn't know when the enemy was close to dying. You just know how many hits you've got on them. um so I've really liked it. And I mean, if I need to, I can touch it and get a quick glimpse
Yeah,
at what's going on. Um,
that was cool though.
but it's so neat playing it that way. And I mean, I wouldn't say that I've died any more than I used to playing that way. Because I mean, I know, okay, I'm getting some hits. I need to go get a health stone pretty quick. Um, Also, there's a great, you can upgrade Atreus to have like different armor or different skills that help you heal during battle, and that is so
Oh
fantastic. That was
yeah,
like the first thing I invested in. I'm like, yes, you find some healing stones for me. That's fantastic. Um, there was this one fight that I got into where I came across somebody who was very heavily armored. And I didn't have my HUD on, so I hit him a few times. I'm like, this isn't working. Like, I'm not doing any damage. I'm like, okay, this is probably like an environmental puzzle. I need to figure out something in the environment to help me defeat this enemy. And there was this thing up, like, there's a lot of things where you throw your axe and stuff will turn or do different things. And there was this thing where you could do that. So I'm like, okay, this has to be something. So I was like, throwing my axe, trying to turn this thing, trying to dodge this guy as he's attacking me. And I spent like 5 minutes running around this area trying to avoid him and figure out what I'm supposed to do to hit him, to get him. And then it turns out you're just supposed to go keep hitting him until you like knock
oh
some
yeah.
armor off. And I had to like check my my HUD and see, oh yeah, I am doing some damage on him, but like I spent so long I thought it was a puzzle. It was not. Um, but that's okay. Um,
Yeah, there's definitely like there's some things you can do in the game, and I was doing it, and then these three enemies came out, and they had purple health bars, and I was like, okay,
uh-oh.
that's weird. And then I realized, oh, it's purple because they are like 3 levels higher than me,
Yeah.
and no wonder I'm getting one-shotted. So I was very
That's the
frustrated.
quick tip they give you like when the game is first loading. The purple health bars mean don't do it.
Yeah.
Um
Um, I had I think we need to move on to our next section because if not, I'm gonna get into some spoilers. I love this game so much. Like it is so good.
it's so good.
Like
Like I texted you multiple times. I would be in combat and do something awesome and I would just text Cody. I'm like, this was glorious. This is the greatest thing
it's
ever. It really is. You just feel like such a badass. You feel like a god.
exactly like it's they crafted this game so well, and like hearing Corey Barlog talk about the game and like what they have planned next, like I'm so excited that this game had this renaissance. Because like if
Mm-hmm.
you had came to me and been like, hey, in a couple of years, God of War is gonna come back and be a lot better, I'd be like, I think they kind of ended that, man. I think we're good. Like I don't think we need another God of War. Man, do I want some more God of War?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and like I okay, last tidbit from me, and then you can finish, and then
Okay.
I think we need to stop here
Okay.
for God of War talk.
Okay.
This definitely does feel like a love story of all the like kind of PlayStation exclusives because like you have that element of The Last of Us where you're
Mm-hmm.
with a character that means a lot to you.
Yeah.
Um, there's definitely some Horizon Zero Dawn in this game where like certain things that you do definitely remind me of stuff that Aloy would do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Kratos definitely feels a little bit like um, I can't remember the character's name now.
Which
Crap.
one?
Okay, skip that one. Uh, the puzzles you do definitely remind me of some of the Uncharted
Yeah.
puzzles. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it just feels like a very much a love story to those PlayStation exclusives, and they have combined all into one. And god damn, is this game perfect?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, like, those things are all just, parts of really good games, and it's just like it brought everything that is
Yeah,
good in games together into one really almost perfect shell. And, well, okay, my biggest problem is navigation. Because, I mean, Cody, you know me. You know I'm horrible at navigating. Like,
I I do hope they eventually add like a marker system because like
so you
I've
you have it on the compass. It shows you which direction to go, but
it's just not
sometimes there's
very
caves, there's things in the way.
yeah.
It's not a straight shot. I get so lost. And I like multiple times like I've had to look things up just because like I couldn't figure out how to get back from where I had been, like just going back the way I came, I would get lost. And I mean, it's not that bad. I think most of that is user error because I'm really bad at navigating. But yeah, that's my biggest problem. Like, I got some options to do little side quest favor things. I'm like, I can't do that right now because I have absolutely no idea how to get over there. I see it on the map, but I'm like, I have no idea what to do. So I'll just follow the main story for a while longer.
It's once you beat the game, it
Mhm.
is like I have completely forgotten how to get to some places, so I have had to run around for hours and try to figure out how to get back to certain places.
Oh, there's this thing called Google, and you just go type in what you're trying to do,
That's
and it
kind of
shows
what I've
you
been
how to get
doing.
back. That's a lifesaver for me.
Yeah,
I've been doing
luckily,
that.
luckily Google is around because I've
Yeah.
just been like,
Oh yeah. Oh
don't know
yeah.
where I'm going. So,
Um,
um,
and then one more thing I was gonna say, like you start the game and your combat is on the bumper and the trigger for your light and heavy
mhm.
attacks, and I'm like, man, I'm really not used to that. I don't like that. I'm used to square and triangle. was like, So I went and checked, and I could remap the controller. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Oh yeah,
So
I've read a lot of people do that.
well, I'd been playing for about an hour, and so then I was like, okay, I'll just take some time to get used to it. So then I played a few hours like that. I was having a good time. I was used to it. It was great. And then I unlocked an ability where you would need to hold down left trigger, hold down square, and then also use the right joystick to aim. And you cannot do that because you've only got the one thumb, and it can't be on the square and the joystick at
Yeah.
the same time. So I was like, oh, this is horrible. So then I had to switch back to the original controls and like re-get used to that again, which I have, and it's fine. But let me just tell you, despite what you might want to do and the options that they give you, go ahead and keep the controls the way they are, because it's for a reason, and you won't be able to do some stuff that you would like to do if you switch them, unless you have an extra thumb. If you've got an extra thumb, go for it. But yeah.
So God of War, 2 thumbs up.
On different hands.
Technically,
I mean, three if you had two on
3
one
if you
hand.
have multiple ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, leave it to Cody to be the responsible one and say that's enough God of War talk. I never thought that day would come, but we will pick it back up once I finish and give a spoiler cast. So, all right.
Which I'm so looking forward to because I have so many thoughts.
It's so good. Okay, the takeaway: God of War is fantastic. Play it as soon as you can. It's worth it. You think it's overhyped, but it's like it definitely lives up to the hype, and it's so much fun.
Definitely.
So, all right, we're just gonna do one news story, and this was one that we both wanted to talk about, but somebody tried to watch the stream about it, but got real bored, and I had to stop. So I'm gonna rely on Cody to inform our listeners as well as myself about the news of the new Destiny expansion.
All right, so Destiny 2's newest expansion is Warmind. So pretty much we are going back to Mars, the icy snow caps of Mars, and where the Warmind, where the name it comes from, Rasputin, has come back online. And what a Warmind is it's like a smart computer that is pretty much made to destroy enemies. So Rasputin's back online, and he's calling down all this stuff from space to like get himself working properly again. And in doing that, he's woken up the hive that are around him. So we not only are dealing with Rasputin and what he's doing, we're also dealing with the hives. We're kind of fighting a war on 2 fronts. So, what's up?
Sorry. Is Rasputin a physical being, or is he like a digital entity?
He's like an AI. Like so he's like
so if you were to go fight Rasputin, like you wouldn't really have anything to punch.
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So we have a new like little hub area where we'll be doing all our questing and stuff on Mars. I think it's technically called Helios is what they're calling it.
Okay.
No, I think that's what it's called. So there's gonna be new armor, new guns, returning exotics. Their main thing here is there's a new public event on Mars called Evacuation Protocol. Or Excavation Protocol sounds a lot better.
This could be important.
It could be. Let's go with Excavation Protocol. It is like a horde mode where each wave gets more and more challenging. Because they've said that like a lot of the feedback they get is that the game's too easy at certain points. So they really want you to work for these rewards you're going to be getting. So after 7 waves, a boss will come out. There's 5 different bosses. They'll be rotating each week. So, and you only get gear from those bosses. And this public event's a little different because usually you go to a public event and you got to stand around for like 3 minutes, get your little dance on. No dancing here. We're going right into combat. It's always going. You always can hop in, and you don't even have to be in a fire team. Like it's just always going.
So could you like if it's going and then you walk up to it on like wave 6? Is that fine? You get to join in, do the next 2 waves, and then you do the boss? Or
from what I understand, once you defeat a wave, you get a key.
Okay.
And you need to charge up that key and then when you beat the boss, you use that key. I think it needs 7 charges, so technically you need to go through 7 waves. So you could come in on 6, kill the boss, learn its moves,
Okay.
and do another 5 waves. That's your key charged up. Kill the boss again, and then
Okay.
open the box, and that's how you get your reward.
Okay.
And there's gonna be certain gear that only drops from certain bosses on the thing, so that's pretty cool. Along with that, we'll be getting a new raid lair. They haven't really dropped a lot of hints about what's in it. We don't know if it's going to be Rasputin based or Hive based. I'm assuming Hive because when the Curse of Osiris came out, the raid layer was based around pretty much a hive, not a hive mind, a vex
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
Sorry about that. There's also a bunch of new stuff happening. So exotics, a lot of exotics are getting a rework. Like they've been sharing videos, and such as the graviton lance used to be if you got a precision kill with it, the enemy would explode in void. Now the enemy will explode, but then also little void crystals will come out of them, and they kind of act like heat-seeking missiles.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, really cool. There's a auto rifle called Hard Light, and usually you can go into your inventory and change the element of it. Now, if you just hold down square, you will change the element of it on the
Oh,
fly. So really helpful for when you're going through a strike, because they
that's
recently
cool.
buffed how enemies with shields will not take as much damage from regular guns. So you really want to be
Yeah.
matching the element to break the shield down and do damage to them. They have there's gonna be a new emote wheel, so now you can have 4 emotes. Now, before it was like you have a dance, a salute, a sit, and then whatever random emote you want. Now you can have all 4 ramen eating emotes if you want. I don't really think that's possible. I think you have to have different emotes on each one. And then lastly, one of the bigger things is in the Crucible, there will now be 2 ranks going on. You'll have Quick Play Crucible, and you'll be learning Valor, and then you'll have Competitive Crucible, where you're earning Glory.
Ooh.
Now you get different armor and different emblems for each one, so you'll get Valor ones, and then you'll get Glory ones. The big thing from this is in Glory, if you achieve the rank of, I believe it's called Fabled, you have a chance to get a new gun called Redrick's Pilgrimage. It is a pulse rifle, not sky rifle. And it has a new perk that's never been in the game ever called Desperado.
Ooh.
And it's when the other perk it has, Outlaw, which is if you get a precision kill, which is just like a headshot or wherever the weak part is. Like on a Vex, it's in the tummy. Because Vexes have tummies, don't ask me why.
Hey,
So Desperado will cause the gun to shoot faster, and you do crazy amounts of damage.
cool.
So it's only for season 3 of PvP, so it's kind of like an incentive to go and try to be the best at competitive Crucible.
It's only it's only in the competitive, not just the quick play.
Yeah, only in the competitive version. Which kind of sucks, but it's also a reward for if you are, grinding it out.
That's
And
true.
makes sense. And I don't think it'll be like crazy strong, so it's just something. It's something you can say like, "Hey, I earned this," and the other people haven't. So it's kind of cool. It's definitely something I'll be grinding for.
Yeah.
Also, with Warmind, we'll be introduced to the character Anna Bray, or as some people have been referring to as Anna Bay. She is a hunter, and she seems to have a lot going on with Rasputin because her, like, I want to say great grandfather or grandfather created Rasputin. So we'll get some background on Rasputin and her family, and that'd be kind of cool. So yeah, that's pretty much all we know right now about Warmind. It drops on May 8th, along with season 3 and all these updates, and it's looking to be pretty good. Like this definitely. Curse of Osiris was fun, but Curse of Osiris was also very short. I feel like it didn't take long for me to finish it solo, and if you played with a friend like how me and you did for 2 Guardians, we got through it really quickly.
Yeah.
Like this seems like it's going to take a bit. There's going to be a lot to do, and they're definitely making steps to improve the game because I know they have been in. A lot of people have been complaining for a long time about the game, how there's not enough to do and all that. And I think this is definitely a step in the right direction. How do you feel about Warmind, Sam?
Well, let me tell you, I love Destiny 2, and more Destiny 2 is always a good thing for me. So I really didn't care like what
Yeah.
Warmind was about, what's happening. I don't care. It's more Destiny for me to play, so I'm excited and I'm happy. I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it sounds cool. I'm excited about the new character. I know we've talked about Rasputin before, and like I don't remember much of the lore, but I'm excited for it. I don't know. I'm not as there's a lot of people who are still pretty down on Destiny, but I don't know. I like shooting things, and it's fun to shoot things in that game. So
Um, I think people just want it to be an all year round hobby for them.
yeah,
Like Destiny 1 was definitely something you played all the time. But for me, I came in very late to Destiny 1. I came in at Rise of Iron and I had my fun, did the raid, did all the stuff, and then I waited for them to do the Age of Triumphs update, which was like how they brought all the raids, the past raids up and made those like available. And then came back for that. And like that's how I'm going to play Destiny is I'm going to come back to that game when I'm bored and I want to play something like that again.
yeah.
Like right now, I play it every now and then. Like still trying to get that shotgun I've been working on for like weeks.
See,
And then
I'm happy because I've got Martyr's Make and Origin Story, two auto rifles, and I have them on all three of my characters. So I'm one of my characters. I think I have two copies of Martyr's Make because like one's a void and one's a solar, and I'm like, this is great. I'm like set. I don't care about any other guns. So.
But yeah, like I'm always excited for more Destiny. Like I understand where people come from. We're like, hey, I want this to be my full time hobby, but not.
Uh-oh.
And I think this will alleviate that for a little bit, but I definitely think the update in September is what people are most looking forward to.
Yeah.
Like, there's apparently a new mode coming in September that people are hyping up to know because they usually did a community summit where they brought in all these community members, like who do podcasts on Destiny, people who've done videos covering Destiny since Destiny 1 came out.
Oh wait, we do videos on Destiny. They didn't contact us.
They didn't really invite us. I guess they haven't heard of Red and Giz, the two greatest guardians. We saved the tower.
It's
like
weird.
I don't like fuck those guys, am I right?
It's fine. It's fine.
So they did that, and like they can't talk about anything that was discussed at the summit, but Bungie seems to definitely be on the track to making this a game that's a hobby all year round. And September is going to be that big update. And I think this will definitely be if you want that, and maybe you just need to wait till September. But I definitely think Warmind is going to be a good expansion from everything I've seen. I have a lot of hope in it. I think we're going to be starting a Geek Games clan on there just because I'm tired of trying to find a decent clan. So we're just going to do that. And we'll call it Geek Guardians, maybe.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely if you would like to join, hit us up on Twitter. But yeah, more Destiny is always good. I love Destiny. I love the history of it. I'm definitely interested to see how they balance the Hive and Rasputin stuff going on because there's been some leaks happening and some of the stuff seems like there's a lot going on in this expansion. So,
cool. Well, I look forward to it. So.
Oh, and PlayStation gets an exclusive strike. So there's 3 strikes for PlayStation and 2 strikes for Xbox and PC.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, PlayStation.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for tonight. Did you have anything else we needed to discuss?
Nope. Just definitely God of War because I'm sure in like next week or 2 we'll be having a spoiler cast going out.
Yeah.
We hope to see you in some Destiny, and yeah.
Yeah, cool. So just a reminder, if you have a fun question, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be fun. If you have any question for us, go ahead and reach out to us like Chris M and Barbie did tonight. We had a good time answering those questions. So we're at contact@geekheartgames.com if you want to email us. On Facebook and Twitter, we're at geekheartgames. Our YouTube videos are at geekheartgames.com/YouTube. Our live streams are on twitch.tv/geekheartgames. And I swear, one of these days, we're gonna have a Sea of Thieves stream. We keep trying to have one, and it keeps not working out. But eventually, we're gonna get it. We're gonna try that game. I haven't told Cody yet, but when we play it, we're gonna do pirate voices the whole time. So
Oh,
that's
I'm so
something.
fucking in for that.
Yes.
Let's go.
So it'll be a good time. So eventually that'll be here. Um, and then, hey, once again, join our Discord. Come chat with us. We've got a lot of fun conversations going all the time. That's at geekheartgames.com/Discord. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at SKSUVAK. Cody?
I am at Comic Book Cody.
Yeah. All right. Thank you again for everyone who's tuned in. Cody, take it away.
We're just two geeks who heart games. Do 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 do. Yeah. I went back and listened to our first episode, and that's how the song went originally. I just changed it to Who Heart Games. It was actually, I said like that Who Heart Games, and I was like, "That's
Did
what?
you?
That wasn't even that." I think so. It made no sense,
I have
but
to go back and listen to that. I don't know, but hey, that'll do. You're about to sneeze.
And I was like, okay, I'm good. All right, held it in.
I was gonna sneeze at one point too, but I managed to hold it in, and like it was okay.
Because I'm a very loud sneezer. Like I sneeze and and I was like, there's no like I don't want to mute my mic because I feel like there's gonna be an input lag where like right as I hit mute, you're gonna be like, hey Cody, how do you feel about this? And I'm like, scrambling to unmute. I had to sneeze so bad.
One day, one of us is gonna sneeze, and there's just gonna be like this spew, like right on the camera.
Like little particles on the camera right
gross.
There. Ugh, so disgusting.
Yeah, but hey, that'll be fine. We'll deal with it. It makes for good entertainment.